All right, I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna finish the project that I procrastinated on. I'm gonna finish this planter. This is really dusty. I'm gonna clean it off and just make sure that everything's okay before I start adding the slats all around it. Yeah, it's loose right here. I just gotta fix that, make sure that's good. I believe this is made out of pallet wood. It's what I used to use when I was first starting out because it was free. I have these pieces of poplar. I'm going to use these for the slats that wrap around the planter. So they're all like about 1 3/8 inches. So I'm just going to take them down to 1 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to match them to go, which is to match them to go to each side. I want them to meet at a miter on each corner. So before I start cutting these, I'm going to practice with some other scrap wood that I have. The thickness that I want for the slats, because I don't want it to bend. I've had that problem in the past. Maybe like 1/4 inch thick. Okay, I'm gonna do a practice run doing the mitered corners, and I'm gonna use this scrap piece of wood. So let's go. I don't think this is gonna work for this one. If I were to make another skeleton where everything's perfectly straight, then the miter edges will work. But for right here, the length is 15 3/16. Then here it's 15 1/4. It's just not gonna work. I can just make it 15 1/4. I can just make it to the longest part. Okay, I'm gonna do 15 1/4 then. So I'm gonna make sure that the miter cut meets the inside of the miter cut. This part meets end to end on each side I'm working on. And since each side isn't like perfectly the same width all the way down, I'm just gonna do it to the longest side. I mean, they're all about 15 1/4, but since I'm doing this, it has to be pretty precise. It has to be precise. It's fine. Just overthinking. So now I got all my slats cut out. So now I'm going to start by cutting the bevel cut on one side. So this is the show side. I have all the show sides facing me right now. That way I'm just going to cut all on one side right now. Okay, so now I'm cutting the other side of the bevel. So I did one already and I just verified it against the side and it fits. This one was one long board. I just cut it so that the grain wraps around. So to do that, it's not as straightforward as you think. You have to do a couple extra cuts. This is a long board that can get turned into 2 sides, no problem. So I have that one side that's already cut. So I'm gonna finish that. And I set my stop block up already. Okay, so this went together. So now I need to put this side against here because I can't disturb my stop block. Actually, I need to flip it. So make sure that you're always on the right side. It's very easy to mess up because I want the miters going this way. So this side out, up against here. And there you go. So these two go together, so I'm gonna keep them together. I started to put the strips of poplar over this, and because this is not perfectly square wood, it was just not meeting up right. And I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, this just looks really bad now. I tried sanding it on the sides. That's why it looks like this now. I tried sanding it so that way the corners would meet up better. It's just not working. And I really want to do those edges. I want them to meet nicely. So I'm just gonna start over. Yes, I could still use this for something else. Like the old planters I used to make, like in my first videos. I could definitely still use it for that. But right now, like, I'm so over this thing. Now the stain's like uneven, I have to stain it again. I'm gonna start over. And Silver Linings Playbook, you get to see the complete build of this now. Total for the cube, you need 8 boards. I'm gonna make them all the same size, all the same everything. So I'm gonna make them all an inch all around. Now there's 4 pieces that are going to be longer than the other pieces because those are like the ones that go all the way to the ground, the legs of it. So I'm going to make those just an inch longer than those, so 16 1/4. Now I have 4 of these, and I have 8 of these, and just 1 extra. All the shorter boards, there's going to be 8 of them. They're going to get pocket holes. They're going to all get pocket holes. So here I have to set up. Let's go. Now we're going to assemble the skeleton. You need 2 of the legs with your longer boards and 2 of the shorter boards. I'm using one of my other boards to set the height for the feet of the planter. I'm removing the spacer before I tighten my clamps. I forgot to subtract the width of the legs. So I need to take this all apart and then cut these again. And then add the pocket hole on another side. So I'm measuring out around the boards to make sure that it fits good. And this is how I should have measured it in the first place. So now, I'm gonna cut all these again. Sand where I glued. Oh my goodness. That was just really frustrating. Like I was 1 board away from finishing the assemble of the skeleton, and then I realized, oh, it's not right. Oh well, that's life. I'm staining the skeleton of the planter black. I wanted to do a dark brown, but I didn't have that color stain on hand, and the black would also really complement the green poplar. I got lucky that all this fit perfectly. I did not measure it. Half an inch block. I'm really sad to brand nail this. Sucks. I started with installing the slats that would have the wraparound grain. It would be better to install these slats from the inside, that way you don't see any nails. I'm using a 1/4 inch block to set the distance between each slat. I'm doing the corners by hand, that way I don't remove too much material with the orbital sander. I'm adding glue to the crevices of the corners. And I sanded, that way it fills with its own sawdust and it's a better match. On the lighter boards of poplar, the holes almost weren't visible anymore, but on the darker boards, it was much harder to hide those. You can still see those. I use this for all my planters because it's also water resistant and UV resistant. But this is gonna be an indoor planter. I'm using it for the water resistant aspect. This could also be a chair. This could turn into a lot of things, this design. It could be a lamp if you make it tall and more narrow. You can make your own lamp. This can be a chair. I'm visualizing this as a small ottoman or a chair. You just have to put a cushion on top. That can be something. Then you'll have storage in there too. But mine is a vanity planter. I'm just gonna do the outside, the top here, and the slats on the inside. I'm not gonna do the interior slats, just the bottom ones where the plant will sit on top of.